We are back with a new set of What's on the Bench. This time is mine and my brother's 3.5 LBSC Bantam Cock that we were given by a member of the club. Now, as we moved, she went away under my dad's bench, but now it's time to get her out again now that Imlec's out of the way and Trojan's under the other bench, under my bench. See where we got to, see what needs doing to her, get her tested and run the wheels off it. So this was, well, the boiler ticket has 1994 on it as its original test date. She's a LBSC Bantam Cock, which is modelled on an LNER V4. As the builder does, whose name we've already seen, Dave Della. The detail is right. Detail is added to what LBSC drew. The firebox has a combustion chamber with 4 Galloway tubes in the top of it. Coincidentally, she steams like an absolute witch. When I first drove her, she was my first 3.5 inch. And I cocked it up the first time by not realising quite how sensitive the fire can be in a 3.5. And since then, you can't. Well, I've driven some more 3.5s. Even they steam well, but this steams like a witch in comparison. So this is like a quick intro. So when I last had her out, I'm aware she needs a bloody good clean. I've given her a wipe over, which does need a bloody good clean once we're done. The reason she got put away last time was the injector, but the injector I don't think is the fault. What gave up last time is the injector clack. It just suddenly gave up on me after coming around to the station. Now, as you can see where it is, to take that clack out, on the back of that clack is a long copper tube that goes right up here, almost up to the dome. So it delivers in front of the combustion chamber. But to take that out means taking the glass out, which is fine. But to take the glass out from memory means taking the cab off. Now, it's not the most well attached cab, it does come off quite easily. But if we're going to start doing bits and pieces to her, we will do some other bits and pieces to her, like cleaning up the rust on here and on the door. The fire door does go fine, but isn't the easiest thing to open and close on the run. It does catch in its runners a little bit. Being a very well made model with its little flap there, I find this front part, for my fat hands, getting in there on the run just means I touch everything and burn myself on everything. So we'll address that, but there's no one would find this is too nice, and I wouldn't want to. Although, I mean, it'd be nice if it was down there, but I'm not going to go chopping and changing it. The most problem for me is when I'm driving, getting down there for the axle pump. If it gets stuck, you have to grab it, at which point you've just touched all the valves in the back end and burn my hands up, and then I get the ump, and then I lose concentration and bugger it up. So we'll think of a way around that, even if it means extending the drawbar and this cover plate a little bit somehow. I don't know, we'll get back to that. I might not. I might just get better at driving. There'd be a thing. So yeah, the only other thing of note is the way LBSC designed these, I suppose because of their size and simplicity, is the expansion link is only supported on one side, and this side does move and rock about and play quite a lot. The other side is tight and solid and whatever. This side has that movement in it, and that does, on the way, that's a significant knock and a rattle, which would be nice to get rid of. Not going to stop it running, but it'd be nice to get rid of it. While we're here, she has got brakes, steam brakes. They purportedly don't work very well, so I don't know if we'll bother making those work, but it'd be nice to try them at least. She has got axle box oilers up there under those two caps, and the dummy lubricators in there, the real lubricator being under the front there, in there. And there she is. I'll back out, you'll see her. She's a cracking little engine. Dave took her all over the country, and she has many, many miles under her belt, with many, many more miles to come. Over the last little while, I've been bitten by the 3.5 bug, having driven some nice engines, and this is a nice engine. So as long as I can sort out my ability to get my hand in the cab somehow, or just get better at it, she should fly around a lot of places. It'd be nice to take her out and about, because as she is, you can just pick her up and walk off with her. None of this having to lug her around to the cars with other people involved, and no, just pick her up and walk off with it. Right, so that's where we are. So before we start, well, I was about to say before we start work on it, although I'm about to start work on it now that Trojan's under the bench down there. Although Trojan will be coming back out, but she can't be in the car in the meantime. So, yeah, Bantam Cock. Cracking it the engine, not a lot needs doing. We'll crack on with it and get her running. Right, see you then.